I don't watch the news anymore. I found I just can't do it because I see through it. I remember when I first started waking up around 2 years ago, I started watching it less and less, particularly free-to-air. Newspapers, they soon went by the wayside. And TV news, I just don't watch it at all anymore. But every now and then you see a story. You might go to your friend's place or whatever, but you see a story, it still filters through. You're at the gym, whatever. I saw a story there yesterday where I think it's the teachers, whoever controls the teachers for all the kids here in New South Wales. The teachers they've passed a law, I think, in Parliament where you're not allowed now to be, what was the term they used? Abusive. I think the word was abusive towards your teachers. Towards the teachers. Now, it really makes me start to think and wonder exactly what's going on in these schools. So I know for a fact, because I was there, I know for a fact they teach evolution. They teach the heliocentric model. They teach about dinosaurs. They teach about the Earth being millions of years old and you being insignificant. And I also caught wind about 3-4 years ago. There was a school over there in Perth, and they had emblazoned on the overhead projector thing at the front of the class saying, historically, and this is a quote, historically, men have been the biggest, I can't think of that word, there was a word, biggest hindrance problem for women in history. And that's true. And this is the shit they're teaching at school. They're teaching the Jezebel spirit. They're teaching this false elevation that going on in Australia at the moment for the for women. And the reason why they're doing that is because Eve ate the seed and they just love, that's why the Catholic Church worship Mary and not Jesus, because they love the evil seed, and that's what Eve represents, and that's what this whole women's psyop thing going on in Australia is all about. But it makes me wonder, so if I had kids now in school, and look, if I had kids, one, they wouldn't be vaccinated, two, they'd be homeschooled. But let's have a look. Let's have a look at all this and the way it all sort of falls together now these days in this new world society that we live in here in Australia. Let's all put it all together. Your kids have to go to school. I think you can homeschool them, but there's rules coming out of your ears, just like everything that we do. There's fucking rules with everything. So you have to send your kids to school. You have to have your kids vaccinated. And if you don't get all these shit from the government or whatever. There's consequences if you don't have your kids vaccinated. Now, you send them to school. So you send them to school. Sorry, you have your kids, you poison them with vaccines, and it's not the parents' fault. They don't know. People aren't awake. I'm awake. I'm telling you, vaccines are poison. They poison their kids. They send them to school to poison their brain. They go to school and they teach them that the Earth's a ball. They teach them that the Earth's been here for millions of years. They teach that abortion's completely okay and not an abomination and not murder. They teach that man crawled out of the sea, and that's how we came to be. Like, God created the world and man. Or you've got all this concocted bullshit that the earth come from nothing and it's now perfect, and men come from fish in the sea who come from nothing. I just don't get what's going on in society. It's like starting to drive me a little bit mental, to be honest. It's where's logic gone? Where's good reasoning gone? And all these kids now coming out, like I see kids I know who are 20, 21, and they're just softcocks. They've got no idea about life at all because they're in school and everyone gets a medal for trying. I used to work at Sanitarium. They had this thing called the triathlon, the TRY-athlon, and everyone got a prize, and everyone at school's a victim, and everybody's you can't, like, somebody can't say anything to you now at all without you getting in trouble, unless of course, and this whole thing about what was the word? Not bullying, the word they use, abusive behaviour, with this decree that the school teachers have said that you can't. So what's abuse? Like, what's abuse? I get accused of abusing people all the time. You can see how I talk. I shoot from the hip. And if someone's talking shit to me, I'll tell them. I'll tell them in a respectful way. But I'm constantly being told that I abuse people because I call them out for their shit. And is that what this is? It's exactly like the Jews do. The Jews do exactly the same. As soon as you start talking about them in any way, shape or form, they shut you down. You're an anti-Semite, you're this, you're that. Simply because you've got an opinion, you think, well, maybe they're not just so perfect. It's exactly the same with this school teacher thing. Exactly the same. They get there and they say, we will not tolerate any of this type of behaviour, any abusive behaviour. What's abuse? Disagreement? I bet you it is.